The King of the Monsters has taken on many different giant monsters face to face, earning him the deserving title. Some are more powerful than others, but the fans of the franchise have always enjoyed seeing their beloved Monster King tear apart every one of those monsters. Today, we feel the need to talk about one such monster who got torn apart, maybe literally once, but made an everlasting impression. Godzilla fans, behold, Marvelous Videos brings to you another video where we explore a kaiju in detail from the huge plethora of monsters featured in the franchise. Get ready to learn about the fan-favorite kaiju from the 1999 Toho film Godzilla 2000 Millennium, Orga. Stay with us as we do a deep dive into the origins and history of the character and shine the necessary light on his appearances across different media. Without further ado, let's get started.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Tracing the origins of Orga. A group of aliens called the Millenniums fled their planet in a solar-powered spaceship after a sudden crystal deformation, scanning across galaxies and seeking refuge in other worlds. The alien spaceship's journey came to a halt when it crash-landed on planet Earth and plunged into the depths of the ocean. The UFO powered down due to the absence of sunlight in the ocean depths, as it was the source of energy for the ship, and the Millenniums converted their bodies into biomass and went dormant for 60 million years. When a research submarine shines its light on the dormant UFO, it is reawakened and rises from the ocean bed, resembling the appearance of a huge underwater rock, and emerges to the water's surface in a standing position and charges the spaceship with its exposure to sunlight for days. Upon fully charging, the Millennium UFO regains its original form in all of its silver chrome glory. The shiny UFO then flew away, searching the planet for genetic material to stabilize its form and allow itself to adapt to Earth's atmosphere when it came across Godzilla. The Millenniums determined that Godzilla was the ideal vessel for their conquests on Earth, as Godzilla's genetic material cells contained Organizer G1 in them, which granted the King of the Monsters limitless durability. The UFO manages to subdue Godzilla and absorb enough of his genetic material and subsequently Organizer G1 from a fallen Godzilla, which causes the biomass of the aliens to exit the spaceship in the form of a huge liquid ball. After merging with enough of Godzilla's DNA, the aliens were able to take a form that looked like tentacles growing out of a Millennium UFO-shaped head as a result of the highly regenerative quality of Godzilla's DNA. This form was called the Millennium, a kaiju-sized alien, but this form was only seen oh so briefly, as the presence of Organizer G1 in Godzilla's cells made the alien mutate rapidly as a side effect of its radioactive nature, finally making it take the form of Orga. The terrifying saga of Orga. Godzilla frees himself from the rubble he is under and delivers a shot of atomic breath at the UFO floating in the air, blowing it up in half and sending it crashing to the ground. Then Orga stands up, revealing himself, and is faced by an enraged Godzilla, who proceeds to engage with the newly formed kaiju. The kaiju is overwhelmed by Godzilla's might in close-quarter combat when it summons the half-blown UFO via telepathy for an assist in battle and uses it to deliver a successful blow to the Monster King. A ticked-off Godzilla destroys the remaining UFO when he shoots his atomic breath at Orga, and the UFO stands guard. Godzilla's attack cuts through the UFO and hits Orga, but the regenerative nature of Organizer G1 absorbed by Orga allows him to quickly regrow the wounded part of the body. Godzilla, who makes a note of this, engages the monster with punches when Orga grabs a bite at Godzilla's arm and starts to absorb more of his DNA. Growing green scales on Orga's body similar to Godzilla's texture, the Monster King delivers another catastrophic atomic blast at the kaiju for a longer period of time, lighting up the sky as he does, but the smoke clears only to reveal a rapidly regenerating Orga, still intact and taking slow steps towards the King of the Monsters. Orga slowly approaches Godzilla and unhinges his jaw, growing large tentacle-like structures from his mouth, and attempts to swallow Godzilla as a whole. He continues to absorb more of Godzilla's DNA, trying to turn himself into the perfect clone of Godzilla, and develops dorsal plates out of his back, just like Godzilla. After not much thought or time, Godzilla charges his dorsal plates in preparation for his atomic breath attack as he was being swallowed by the alien monster, delivering the shot directly into Orga's stomach, causing him to incinerate from the middle, blasting off his whole upper body. The remainder of Orga's blown-up body falls to the ground and crumbles to dust, thus bringing the short-lived reign of Orga to a terrifying end. Orga's arsenal, exploring the powers and abilities. The Millennium UFO was a shiny silver spacecraft shaped like a bicycle seat with a cannon on the left side. Orga's upper torso also resembled this shape with an offset blaster, which he uses to shoot energy beams at his enemies, an attack usually referred to as the shoulder cannon. This attack also had alternate names in other media, namely wave motion beam, pulsating plasma bullets, or most prominently destructive motion attack. One blast from Orga's shoulder cannon sends the King of the Monsters hurtling backward and pushes him into a skyscraper. Orga also uses his two gigantic clawed hands to batter at his enemies, and in the video games by Atari and Pipeworks, Orga could pick his enemies up using his claws and slam them into the ground like a wrestler's move. Orga possessed impressive degrees of agility given his size and build, which allowed him to jump as high as 100 meters and as far as 300 meters. Orga's regenerative power was miles ahead of Godzilla, as he could heal major injuries and regrow blasted off chunks of his body almost instantaneously, mere seconds after being inflicted by attacks from Godzilla. His incredibly rapid regeneration allowed him to remain standing tall even after being subjected to a long blast of atomic breath from Godzilla. Orga also had the ability to communicate with the Millennium UFO using a super powerful form of telepathic connection dubbed super psychokinesis, and the Millennium UFO used this ability to hack into computers. Moreover, the Millennium UFO used super psychokinesis to lasso Godzilla in underground cables and drag him through Tokyo buildings like a ragdoll. In his video game appearances, Orga has the ability to temporarily stun his opponents by spitting a green glob at them, an ability which was called the Plasma Spit in Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. Comparative might, where Orga stands among Monsterverse's legendary titan. If Orga was to be brought back and pitted against Legendary's version of the King of the Monsters, he would probably have a similar fate to what he faced when he went against the Millennium-era Toho Godzilla. He could probably use his giant clawed hands to deliver some blows at the Monster King, which, when used in tandem with his high regenerative ability, would buy him some time to strategize against the Big G, as long as he does not try to swallow a conscious Godzilla, exposing the weakest point and thus the perfect shot to finish him off. Orga might still have a fighting chance against the Monsterverse Godzilla. He would probably fare better when pitted against Monsterverse's Kong, as Orga carries a powerful shoulder cannon that could deliver a very damaging attack at Kong, who is susceptible to energy-based attacks as seen in 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong. Orga would have to move fast and take the first shot at Kong and inflict initial damage so as to avoid Kong closing the distance between them, which would put Kong at an amorous advantage, as Kong's incredible agility makes him a deadly opponent in close quarter combat. Kong would figure a way out to wound Orga fatally upon getting close to Orga, being the intelligent kaiju he is, and Orga better pray that Godzilla not be around to charge Kong's axe, because then he's finished within a matter of seconds, as Kong would just slice him up like he did Mechagodzilla. However, the battle would prove to be much shorter if Orga was pushed into a fight with the mighty Scar King, who is set to appear as an antagonist in the upcoming 2024 film Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. Scar King is a simian titan who is said to be at least 100 feet taller than Kong and much stronger than Kong too, which means he would probably be able to tear the poor Orga apart from the middle. Mind-blowing appearance of Orga in other forms of media. Apart from Godzilla 2000 Millennium, Orga also appeared in the opening montage of the 2017 anime film produced by Netflix, Godzilla: Planet of the Monsters, where Orga is one of the many monsters menacing the world in the 21st century. He is seen attacking Ankara, the capital of Turkey, in May of 2022, causing 11.5 million deaths before the military stopped him. Although his film career was short-lived, Orga went on to appear in over 9 video games featuring characters from the Godzilla franchise and was a playable character in all 3 video games from Pipeworks. His appearance in Godzilla Monster Apocalypse, a prequel novel to the 2017 anime film, was on the same account of Orga destroying Ankara in 2022, where the events of the attack are explored in deeper detail. He has also made comic book appearances in 2013's Godzilla Rulers of Earth and in 2023's Godzilla Rivals vs. Mechagodzilla. The future of Orga in the Godzilla universe. With the enormous success and popularity accomplished by the Monsterverse films and the list of Toho's kaiju appearing in the universe ever so increasing, the eventful return of Orga to the big screen is much awaited and would be warmly welcomed by another fan-favorite monster, King Ghidorah, introduced in the 2019 Monsterverse film titled Godzilla King of the Monsters, where the origin of the 3-headed dragon monster was said to be an alien invader hell-bent on destroying all life forms on Earth, and was described to be as the dragon who fell from the stars. With the existence of alien life forms being well established and aptly accepted in the legendary Monsterverse, it would be a fair segue to introduce another well-known alien life form, the Millenniums, who would eventually mutate and transform into Orga. Apart from having an interesting backstory and intriguing origins, Orga also has fierce combat and rapid regenerative abilities that could be worthwhile to reimagine using modern CGI technology, which makes him a compelling candidate to compete for an upcoming spot in the Monsterverse. Marvelous verdict. Orga was the first opponent faced by Godzilla in the Millennium era of the franchise and was well remembered by the fans for his attempts at besting the Monster King despite his short-lived film career. His popularity from Godzilla 2000 Millennium translated into his repeated appearances in the video games from the franchise spanning over 23 years. The Monster's modern reboot for the silver screen is long overdue and eagerly awaited by the fans. Let's cross our fingers together and hope Legendary Pictures and Toho Company are listening to the fans and paying attention to their requests. Until then, keep watching Marvelous videos for more exciting breakdowns of your favorite kaiju from the Godzilla franchise, and stay updated on all Gojira madness to come.
If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.